What is up, everybody?
What's up?
We're back again, CountryBoyz. Back in the studio. Every time we're in the studio, something changes.
What changed?
So we get here. We're in a shared space, so we can't really control it. But yeah, we're missing our table. Feel kind of naked.
No table.
A little exposed up here. What else? There was our regular chairs are missing. I can't really
These
get
uncomfortable chairs
thing.
gonna have sciatica at the end of the show.
But hey,
Is that the right
we're at a public space, so that's part of the deal with the cheap discount we get here. But we're back with another episode, and as you can see, I'm here, of course. Check. We got Matt, the co-host, here.
I'm
Check.
back.
We got Justin. Oh wait, Justin's out.
Nope, no Justin.
So
just Jason.
If you can hear us, then
Just
You know,
Jason. That
we're doing a
works.
good job.
Yeah.
But we do have Jason here, so Jason's
Just Jason.
doing
Bringing
double duty,
Double duty.
audio visual extraordinaire.
All
So-
serious with his glasses tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cut
super.
back and glare.
Super down to business. He's got a wolf shirt on and he's got glasses. So he's not messing around. I wouldn't want to see him in a dark alley, if you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah, especially at
so
night.
if you haven't seen the show, we're going through every country. We're talking about it. We're talking a little bit about the country, maybe a good 5 minutes of the show, and then the rest we're just talking about it ourselves or other things. But where do you guys think we're going today? What's the guess of this place?
You gotta give me a clue. I missed the last one. I missed Djibouti.
Yeah, that's a good point. Matt was not here for our infamous Djibouti episode.
Djibouti.
So for this one, we're going back to our roots. Similar continent or region as our very first episode of Nauru, but we're going to Kiribati.
Kiribati.
Is that? What is that?
It's a country.
Is it also an island?
It's a country. It's a bunch of islands.
Okay.
So with Kiribati, so first off, we have to get in the elephant in the room. How this place is spelled. So it's spelled Kiribati. So like you would think Kiribati, but for some reason, and I don't know who did this, who made this up, but in their language, TI is S.
So like the Barcelonians.
Kind of, but
Spain.
it's just TI. I don't know what it is, but in their language, it's TS. So, or not TS. It's yeah. So it's pronounced Kiribati. Or no, it's SS. So Kiribati is actually Kiribati.
Interesting.
And yeah, I don't know why. That's just kind of a weird thing. But
Does
I always thought
everybody
it was-
say it like that?
oh yeah, that's how you say it. Like if you say Kiribati, you're like, hey, you're kind of an idiot. That's how people are gonna look at you if you say it like
I mean, people already look at me like that.
that. Yeah, but that's for other
Just
reasons.
at first, and then they like you.
Yeah, then they really get to know me.
Maybe.
All right, so yeah, this place is a bunch of islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So for our first episode in Nauru, it was one really tiny island.
Mm.
We're gonna see a lot of differences from Nauru. It's bigger. It's not really that much bigger area-wise, so they're all really tiny islands. But there's a lot of them, and they're spread out, and they're in the Pacific. So we'll see some connections to our OG episode. And if you haven't heard it, look, you got to check out Nauru. That was our original hit. That was like our first banger that we had. And then we had some slumps, but then that one, I always go back to Nauru.
I always bring back Nauru.
Not really, but it was a good episode. But yeah, we'll definitely make some.
I learned a lot in that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
We learned a lot that day.
About ourselves. the
Mostly about
world.
ourselves.
About
a
how
bit
little
about-
we know and how ignorant we are.
Very,
Yeah.
Does this
very
country
ignorant.
have ATM machines?
This one might. So it's a little bigger than Nauru. So going into the rundown. So the capital is Tarawa. It's really like the only, not big city, but the biggest city there. And it's where most of the people live. So like when we're talking about this country, most of the time we're going to be talking about Tarawa because that's where everybody at. The size, so it's a bunch of islands. I think it's like 30 islands, but the size is only 310 square miles.
Okay.
So
So not big islands.
not big islands. And actually, a lot of them are atolls. You know what the difference between an
Man,
atoll
it's
and an
been a long
island is?
time.
No,
since I've heard
actually,
that.
I want.
It was one of those things in the geography books where you had like 16 different land formations. You had to learn them all.
Well, you remember that map where it was like all the land formations?
Yeah,
in one?
yeah,
It was like,
all in
a
one.
butte and a mesa.
A plateau.
So an atoll is basically a top of a volcano.
Okay.
And that's what makes it different
okay.
than an island.
Okay.
So, and with these, so it's like the top ridge, like the circle of the volcano makes it up. So, yeah, if you just think about like the rim of a volcano, there's not a whole lot of surface area.
Right.
And so that's the issue with this place.
So these are like collapsed volcanoes, more or less.
They're like volcanoes that haven't risen up.
Like
so
what?
they're sunken.
Okay. Is there water in the middle, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with
Okay.
most of them, there's water in the middle, a ring of an island.
Get in the picture. Get in the picture.
And then, so they have 33 of these.
Damn.
The population, it's about 120,000, which is kind of a lot compared, I don't know, for how tiny this place is.
Yeah.
But
It's a decent number.
the language, they speak English. There's also some like original languages, I guess, Kiribati. They're kind of like their own,
Like native.
yeah, but they're their own peoples of, they're their own type of Pacific Islander, I guess. So there's, Samoans, the Kiribatians, or I guess that's how you say it, Kiribatians. They're their own people. So they have their own original language, but everyone speaks English. That's their official language.
Right.
We said it was spread out, so there's 3 different kind of regions all throughout the Pacific. But these guys are actually the first ones to see the sun. So we always thought it was Japan, land of the rising sun. They're always out there with, they have it on their flag. This is us, but it's not.
It's late.
So
It's already been.
we're finding this out now. Japan, you're not telling the truth here. Because Kiribati, they're the first ones to see the sun.
Is that line made up though?
Excuse
Couldn't
me.
it have technically started anywhere?
I guess if you want to be philosophical about it, yeah, there's really anywhere the sun could rise first.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah?
No man is an island.
I mean, it could have started in the Atlantic, right? Greenwich
Yeah.
Standard Time.
No, yeah, that's true. I guess it's just
I just don't
based
know.
on, yeah, I mean, you could reset any time and say, you're actually a day behind us.
Right.
So that was an issue with this being...
Screw your calendar. Like the Chinese, they have their own calendar. Does that
Yeah,
mean
but
they
they-
see
they
the sun
had-
first?
I guess. I'm sure in the Chinese calendar they do. But I guess, you can write your rules for anything, too.
Right. That's
Yeah,
If
you
you're
could
going
make
off
a
that
board
argument.
game right now.
Hey,
You could, Mask.
You could say, I'm the only person that matters and the world revolves around me. The
that's
sun,
100% true, though. That's an undeniable fact.
actually, the sun rises just whenever I see it. And the rest of everybody else, okay, you can see it.
No, dude,
yeah.
we live in the Matrix. It's all
What
You're
time
not
zone
real.
is
you're not
Japan in? Don't get all your not
What,
real.
time zone?
You're one of those NFT art things. That's what you are. You're so beyond not real. You're
smoking ape or whatever that thing is.
Yeah, you're one of those. The Beanie Baby of this age.
What were you saying? That what time zone is Japan?
Yeah, how,
The
this one
Eastist.
is like 0, right?
No, so 0 is England. But
Okay.
I guess if you're
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
time zones like plus,
Right.
minus, so the
So
prime
it's 20,
meridian
it's 23.
or Greenwich is 0, and I think Japan is plus 14 or something. I don't know.
So they're
'Cause the
plus.
time zones
They're like,
don't
are they plus
equal?
23 then? Or no?
No, because it resets. So
Ah,
this
to
is
12,
the thing.
yeah.
So this is actually, it's funny you bring that up because where it resets, it's in between Kiribati. So some of the islands would be on one time zone, some would be on the other because they're spread across the Pacific. So you have like this cluster of islands, this cluster of islands, and this cluster of islands.
You just blew my mind, dude.
But they redid the lines. So before they redid the lines, basically the time zones were, it worked out where they were 26 hours apart in the same country. So they're on like yesterday, they're on today.
Dang.
If you want to talk about the Matrix and crazy shit.
Yeah, they're not real. Go tell them that.
But yeah, so there was something, they had to redistrict it. So when you look at the time zones
Hmm.
and you see it kind of, it goes like this in the Pacific, like it's this
jagged.
big
Yeah.
loop. They did that because of, I guess, however it works out. Look, we're geography people here. We're not math people here. We don't know how this works out.
We're
We
not
just
even
know a
that great
shitload
at
about
geography.
countries.
Know what an atoll is now.
Yeah, I'm
But
glad I know.
Jets
I don't know how the
Atoll.
math worked out. But basically, they were like 26 hours apart.
Interesting.
So that'd
Okay.
be crazy. Imagine if you're like in the East Coast and on the West Coast, it was the next day.
So this is pretty far off the mainland, though. Like they're pretty isolated.
Yeah, they're in the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's in, look, on our map, we'll flash an image up there, but you can see it right there. Kiribati.
Oh, there you go.
Kiribati.
Okay. All right.
But it spreads out. So all the islands spread like halfway, almost to Hawaii. Like it's
interesting. Okay.
It's spread out, but there's only 33 of them. So
wait, so does
Only
Kiribati
33.
go all the way out here, like past Samoa?
yeah, it goes out. It's the clusters are spread out.
Interesting. Okay.
So we said there's the 3 main island chains. It's the Gilbert Islands, the Phoenix Islands, and the
Gilbert.
Line Islands.
Why?
So those are the names. If you're curious and you're wondering, hey, you said there's 3. What are they called? I just told you. All right. So the other thing with this place, it's kind of a big deal. They're sinking. So I guess that answers what you said. Where not that they haven't risen, they're
Collapsing.
sinking. And this country is probably the most affected by global warming or climate change, whatever, by the seas rising than anywhere else.
And their shit's collapsing.
They had purchased some land from Fiji.
Mhm.
I guess they have a secured piece of land where their inhabitants can move to, or the people from there, but it's not looking good. Like in our lifetime, I don't know, you think about extinct animals, like the blue-footed booby. Remember when that was a thing? Like in 20 years, Kiribati, we could be like, that's not even a thing anymore. So they're not just at
20
risk of
years.
climate change, they're like already in the middle of dealing with it,
Interesting.
which is crazy. But yeah,
That
so
sucks. I mean, that's wild that you just move a whole group of people to some other place and that's now they don't.
Yeah.
But I guess that's how that works all the time, if you think about it. But
yeah, I mean,
Will we have the technology to have like merfolk soon?
well, these might be the first merfolk. I don't know.
like, what's that movie? Weren't they kind of becoming that in?
The Little Mermaid.
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Was it Shyamalan?
I don't know. Wasn't there?
No, Costner.
Waterworld.
Oh yeah, I've seen Dry Land.
Weren't they getting gills in that movie?
He did.
He was the one.
He was like the first.
He was the
one.
first merfolk.
Yeah. Merfolk. Yeah.
So what they're doing to, and there's no elevation. I mean, there's no.
Just flat.
It's flat as fuck. There's no where they can go. But what they're doing is they're planning. They're like as their last ditch attempt to try to, save the coastlines. They're planning mangroves, and then they're trying to make these retaining walls, but they really don't have a lot of money or infrastructure. So it's kind of, the people there are just kind of trying to do whatever they can. But
Yeah,
it's not looking good for old Kiribati here.
a couple 100,000 displaced people.
So other things about the physical, we said it's flat, it's atolls. You can't really plant anything here. If you think
Yeah.
about a ring, like the
Right.
islands aren't very wide, so there's not really a whole lot of soil, so you can't really grow anything.
Is
But
it fertile though? I would imagine it's pretty good growing though, because it's volcanic.
yeah, but
that's what I would think.
you would think so, but I just don't think they have there's just no space.
There's no
really.
John Deere dealerships there.
Right. Oh yeah. Unless you're driving around the one road that they have. So in Tarawa,
What if we brought desert to the ocean?
Yeah, I mean,
that could work. Hey, you know what?
that's what they do in the Middle
Never thought
East. They
about it.
terraform all the
yeah,
time.
little robots
Yeah,
constantly
perfected
bringing
that shit.
buckets of sand.
That'd be a long
Boom,
trip.
boom, boom. Yeah, but all day, constant. Anyways, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, let's see. We'll write a letter to I don't know, some scientists and see if they can get that done.
Scientists, please.
So the interesting thing about Tarawa, the main city, it's one of the most densely populated places in the world. Even more densely populated than like some of these Indian cities or
Yeah.
Tokyo or some of these Chinese cities, because it's super tiny and everyone's just kind of there. And I think with this city, it's on the atoll, but it's like a wider piece of land, so everybody is just kind of it
One
became one of the biggest cities. So yeah, interesting that this place would be one of the most densely populated.
Is it upward? I mean, like, are skyscrapers or anything like that? Or is it
No,
just
no,
flat?
it's
Sky high.
I wouldn't know what you
it's
could
not like
build
a
on.
city, it's
yeah,
just a-
yeah.
I don't know.
How many people live there?
Couple 100,000.
I don't know
not
about
in the city.
Tarawa. I think it's maybe 40,000, like a third of the population.
I mean, that's
You
still
know,
a
there's-
good-sized place.
There's
Yeah.
some drama
Oh
in
yeah,
that city, because like no one's going anywhere. There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
too.
there's
Everybody
it's
That's
similar.
island drama in
Again,
general.
similar to Nauru, low unemployment rate, not a whole lot going on there. So yeah, they're definitely fighting. Again, just like pretty much everywhere we've been so far, former British colony. Not that everywhere we have been is a British colony, but a colony.
Right.
So yeah, it was a colony, got independence up until 1979. You know, when you always see and I don't think this was the main place. I think that's the Marshall Islands. But when you always see those nukes going off in the Pacific,
Yeah.
I guess a couple of the atolls were used for those.
Okay.
So it was a former nuclear.
So that Godzilla footage
They
comes
could
from?
actually, seems like they could turn into merfolk because of that quicker than
Yeah, the
possible.
radiation.
That's true.
And they're
Yeah.
living on volcanic.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how
I-
Godzilla.
And Godzilla
Yeah,
was
but
there. And
I think that Godzilla is the Marshall Islands.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
is that a little bit closer
hey,
to
look,
I
Japan?
don't know. Why
Yeah,
that makes
it-
sense.
I'm looking at the map. It is. It's the one right next to it.
Just a tad bit, yeah.
Now, so I don't think it's Kiribati, but it might be. Godzilla might be from Kiribati.
He has relatives.
It's
from
either
there.
that or Marshall Islands. If I was on a game show, those would be my two. If I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that was a question, I would get it down to those
That
two.
was
And then
Could we
I
go
wouldn't
back to the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire era with Regis? Like,
oh yeah, bring
100%.
Regis back.
I know he's dead, but if he wasn't, live action Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
Yeah, they do that.
reboot.
I think they still do it.
Yeah, that show's been on forever. It was
You can go do it at Universal Studios in
Right-
Orlando
right
right now if you
now,
wanted
right
to.
now.
it was
Like, I
Meredith
don't
Vieira was the host.
Yeah, that's who it
It's
was.
gone
Yeah, yeah.
downhill.
And I was at a wedding once, and she was there.
Yeah, that's right.
And you shit on the show.
Yeah, it's like it was so much better when Regis was there.
You know it.
He was so much more believable.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah, she didn't take it very well. The police were called. There was a restraining order. So this place, it was a battle site too. The last of the history. Not a whole lot of history that at least was in the textbooks, but last kind of big thing of the history lesson here. It was a big battle in World War II. I think it was one of the biggest Pacific battles between the U.S. and Japan.
Oh, shit.
So there was a big Marine battle. That's all I know. So don't ask me any specifics.
I'm gonna need some specifics.
No. I said don't ask me any specifics. No, I don't know.
What type of planes crashed?
What were the tactics used by the Japanese in that battle? There is still a lot of old Japanese and American tanks, and you can find stuff if you're there. So you could maybe find an old bullet shell or something, or I don't know.
Skull.
Or the skull of a Japanese
Or
kamikaze.
American, you know.
Hey, you could find a kamikaze skull there. That's very possible. Or an American Marine just as easily, I guess. I don't know who won that battle, but I know who won the war.
We're gonna look into it.
All right, so culturally, this place has this, and again, I could be saying this wrong because we know how their spelling is, but it's called bubuts.
And what is this?
This is an honor system that they live by in Kiribati because they got to fend for themselves. They're tough people, but in order to survive, you need to rely on other people.
Mm-hmm.
So the system bubuts, it's an honor system where if anybody asks for something, you basically have to let them borrow it.
Damn.
So if I said,
Anything.
hey, I need some sugar from you, I'm making a pound cake, you got to give it to me. And if not, then you're dishonoring
That's a big ask,
bubuts. So that's,
Sugar was the best example you could come up with.
hey, that's my first example.
Hey, I need your car.
I feel like Flanders from
But-
The Simpsons. He always gave Homer whatever he asked for.
He
Like
might have been
this,
practicing
you know,
bubuts, or he
Yeah.
might have, maybe he had some
He was a Buttonian.
Bubut.
Kiribati or Kiribati DNA, but no, it got me thinking. So where does that cross the line? Not by quantity, but what's the
For us?
single? No, just for you personally. Yeah.
Well, right.
What's as far as you go? I would not let you borrow that. If somebody asks you, hey, there's this honor system bubuts, I just need to borrow this. Something where you go, nope, not doing it.
I'm pretty shallow.
So,
I mean,
and we're not talking money, like an item, a possession that you have. That if somebody said, oh, let me borrow that, and you go, no way in hell, you
My
can borrow
shoe?
this. What?
my shoe?
Okay, but if I needed a pair of shoes, you'd say, okay.
No.
Okay, well then, so that's your baseline then, just shoes. What about you, Jason? What's something that you would just say, no way in hell?
More just like germ stuff, like toothbrush or
Yeah,
personal
that's true.
things. Like
That's a good point.
I don't know, like even a soap bar, be like, hey, you use it at your own discretion.
Yeah.
I use that raw bar of soap.
Soap bars are kind of personal, where if it's like a shared.
But I live by myself, so I think if I lived in like a communal thing where we shared one bar of soap.
Yeah, I think personal stuff.
That's
a good point. The soap
And stuff that
unless it's like body wash or something.
yeah, body wash. Let's be civilized. But
You have to be
What
a real
about
asshole.
what
not to
about
let
borrow
someone-
the same loofah?
yeah, that's weird. You shouldn't ask for that. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's asking that, like, you mind if I use your loofah? Like, all right, no, or yeah, use it. I've been using it for 10 years. I'll go pick up a new one.
I haven't replaced it.
No, not really, but I would tell them that to freak them out for.
Deter them, from wanting to borrow your loofah. What would you do?
I don't know. I was thinking about it, and there's really, if it's somebody, like, let's just say we're on Kiribati. If it's somebody that, and you have to know everybody there. Everybody knows everybody for the most part. So I feel like people I liked, not really a whole lot. There's nothing like I'm like, oh, this is my private personal thing.
Right.
If it's somebody that I was cool with. If it's somebody that I don't know, let's just say a person off the street. I don't know. I guess I'd have to assign like a value to it.
Asked weird favors before. Hey, can I borrow this? I'm like, what?
Yeah, like, did you ever know any serious moochers, like chronic moochers?
Oh, I mean, definitely, but
So what kind of
outside
stuff?
of normal, I mean, money, cigarettes, shit like that. People were just like constantly.
Yeah, I guess outside of the normal realm of things.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've had any too many weird requests.
I feel like a razor, like personal stuff. Yeah, razor. It's kind of like if you have an electric razor, it's like just go buy a blade.
Yeah, electric razor definitely be something, whatever, kind of weird. But I'd also be like, well, here's scissors. I use them for pizza and other things.
I guess too. It also depends on like the quantity of how much people are borrowing, which I don't know. If somebody's asking you to borrow something every day, then it's like
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But I think too, at least going back to the sugar example for like something with food, I don't know.
I mean, not if there's no such thing as borrowing food.
Well,
They're using it. They're not going to
if
give it
it's an
back to you.
ingredient,
Yeah, I'll
if they're borrowing
regurgitate
an
it and
ingredient.
bring it back to you.
Yeah, I'm not
in a
saying give me your shit.
minute.
Hey, you borrowed my syrup. Give me
Can
your
I eat
shit.
your frozen pizza? I'll return it to you in pasta form.
That would be funny though if somebody does borrow food and you're like, okay, that was like you measure the calories, then you make them do that much work. Like you have to exert this much calories helping me. Like, I let you borrow that. You ate 300 calories. Now you have to wear a Fitbit and rake leaves until you get to 300 calories.
Well, see, that's a good point. I mean, like if you're talking about bartering in that fashion,
but
like
that's like
trading
borrowing food.
skill for like something physical or whatever. Like if you let me borrow that or whatever, I'll give you an hour of my time to mow your
But you
lawn or
can
something.
measure it by calories.
Yeah, that's true too.
If you're like, here's a bag of sugar, it's this many calories. Okay, then you owe me this many calories of work. I'm going to put a Fitbit on you.
Right.
And you got to dig this hole that I need until you get to that thing. And then, all right.
So, but that's also a barter system. You saying in this
bartering.
katsu bui thing, this is, I forgot how you say it. Katsu.
I did too.
Baba bui?
Baboots.
Baboots.
Sounds like hey, you baboots.
They're just straight up asking to borrow something, and then
You just have to do it.
That's like their honor code.
Yeah.
There's no bartering. It's not like you're getting something in
It's
return.
borrowing, but not bartering.
Right.
They're just, I think it's maybe less on the food thing, which we,
Right.
but more of, hey, let me use your John Deere, the one that we had talked about earlier.
Right. That specific
I need
John
to-
Deere that we bought.
I need to mow the sand over there. I don't know. I feel like most things I would let people borrow.
Yeah.
If I lived on a tiny island and I knew where I could find them,
Yeah.
and it's not just somebody off the street, like anything you would let somebody borrow. Obviously, if somebody's coming up to my door and saying, "Hey, can I use your toothbrush?" Say no, get the hell out of here. But if somebody's saying, "Can I use your lawnmower?" It's like, yeah, whatever.
Put gas in it.
Yeah, exactly. Wear a Fitbit and
Gas
whatever
is-
calories you have, then you owe me that.
Do they drive on this island? Could you imagine how expensive freaking gas would be right now?
So there's no natural resources.
Right.
It's one of the poorest countries.
I could see that.
So just not
Isolated.
really anything. I mean, and again, when you think about being at the rim of a volcano, you're super limited where you can go and what you can do. There's one road, so they do drive there, but it's just one road
a
around the
circle.
main island, I guess, which was the same as Nauru.
Yeah.
So they raise their eyebrows as a greeting. I think it's kind of like that is like saying "What's up," which I've never heard of, but it kind of made me think of like The Rock, I guess, where it's like,
He's from a nearby place.
yeah,
so-
I guess, but even when you see like the New Zealand rugby team and they do like the dance before, I forget what it's called,
The war
but
dance.
it's all like the
Yeah.
eyebrows, like they're all raising their eyebrows. But I guess here they do that too, where it's just kind of a greeting sign that they have.
I guess I haven't seen that.
There's there's packs of dogs. So there's gangs
Who doesn't
of
like
wild
dogs?
dogs that are deadly.
Deadly dogs.
Yeah,
Like
so
the dingo stole my baby.
we're not talking about little.
Ate your baby.
Ate your baby. Shit, fuck that.
We're not talking about little tiny
Chihuahua.
street dogs.
Yeah.
We're talking about gangs of dogs that'll fuck you up.
They have some kind of vicious initiation, I can only assume, to this dog gang.
I guess if you want to be in their gang, but
Right.
I think for most of us, you're
Like,
saying
you're just a house dog. Get the fuck out.
maybe if they saw your wolf shirt, they'll say,
Yeah, Jason's in.
"This guy's one of us."
I can only assume.
I don't want to end up like that Slash.
Start howling at him.
Yeah, but
Then you hear a howl in the city at night or whatever. Like, that must be Jason and his boys.
Jason's out with the pack. You know, the pack initiated him, and now he runs the pack. It's crazy. He worked his way up. But
Jason's going on a night run.
I
Moving
did
up in the
see
world.
this guy who was there, and he was saying, you know, not a lot of people go here. It's hardly any tourism, but this
Right.
guy went there, and he was talking about getting bit by like these gangs of dogs, which, yeah, sounds pretty crazy if you're wandering around here. But that got me thinking. So, if you were a dog, what's the biggest, baddest dog? If you were like the leader of this dog gang and you could be one type of dog, what would you be?
God, what is that name of that fucking dog? The lion hunter ones. The Ridgebacks. Those are pretty big. And
Those are vicious.
Bull Mastiff, isn't that one of the big dogs?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are big.
They
But I
don't
don't know
live
that they're
long.
natural.
What do you mean natural? Like they're robots?
Yeah. Live in the Matrix.
Quit bringing that up. You're embarrassing us.
I think too, though, if you're the leader of this dog gang, so you don't necessarily have to be the biggest. You got to be a little mix of
Brains,
big,
Yeah.
smart,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agility.
agility. You got to
Long
kind of be a
life,
well-rounded
too,
dog
you
to
know?
lead a dog gang.
You
You'll
can't-
have those.
I mean, dog gang or hyenas dogs. Those are the baddest
No,
motherfuckers.
it's got to be. There's no hyenas on Kiribati.
How do you know?
I guess I don't know. I don't know if the sun rises there, and I don't know if this is real. But I would bet $20 right now. There's no hyenas on Kiribati, not in captivity. I bet.
Can I borrow $20?
I would bet. I'd bet $20 there's not hyenas, and I don't know how we're gonna confirm this, but I'm sure it's got to be out there. There's not hyenas within 200 miles of Kiribati.
200 miles. Going real big.
I'll go 500 miles. All right.
I
There's
mean, I
not
bet there's no
a
hyenas
live hyena
anywhere around
Within
that fucking
500
place.
miles of the closest island to Kiribati.
Okay, so what kind of dogs are on this island then, Jeff? If you're
It's just
limiting us to the dogs that are on this island that are naturally, this guy, he's a stickler, man. He said,
Yeah.
"What kind of dog?"
Okay.
Well, like,
and
maybe-
also hyenas aren't dogs. So
Maybe the better question is, if you were a dog, dog leader, what kind of features would you want to have? You know, because we're not talking like a purebred, like, oh, I'd be a very sophisticated blank. You're gonna
could be.
You're gonna maybe.
Depends on what kind of gang you want to lead and what
That's
kind
true.
of
On this
territory you wanna
island,
gain.
are we talking on this island?
Yeah, on
though?
this island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean a Ridgeback. I'll stick with that pick.
Okay.
Big enough, agile enough, something in that range, something in that size.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
I'm trying to think of what else is around.
I mean, I feel like a pit bull is the obvious one.
You want those locking jaws? I'm gonna tell you.
You can fight, you
Yeah.
can lead. You're big, but you're not the biggest.
Right.
Probably won't die
You don't
too
live very
quick.
long.
Like Rottweilers, they don't live that
Yeah,
long.
exactly.
Great
you don't want to be too
Danes,
big.
they don't live too long.
Right.
you
Right.
know, So you want to
I don't think a Great Dane's a
good
No.
fighting dog.
good like dog leader. They're kind of
No.
they're like the dumb muscle you'd want in the back of the
Yeah,
pack.
or like,
Like
you
a-
could ride on it if you were the real smart leader.
Yeah, what was it? The character from Labyrinth? Wasn't he a dog who rode a dog?
I think so.
He was a dog who rode a fluffy dog.
Well, I don't know if you remember the Cowboys of Moo Mesa cartoon, but they
Yeah.
were cowboys, but they were like they stood up on two legs, but they still rode horses, you know, and they still had cows like for milk.
Huh.
They weren't like they were like not smart.
What fucking
ones.
cartoon was this?
Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Yeah, I definitely never saw that.
Never heard of it. Never seen it.
I'm gonna send you some info.
Is
later.
that some like Japanese anime porn stuff?
No,
Some YouTube
it's
shit.
completely. It's like channel, channel 7 Sunday morning cartoon.
Damn.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed that one.
One of them was named Dakota.
Like the local channel shit. There's some weird cartoons on that.
No,
stuff
like
now, man.
national. Like this had some talent behind it.
All right.
Anyways,
I do have to say though, I guess if I'm gonna pick a dog, bull terriers, I was always kind of,
Yeah.
and those are good fight. They're kind of a good mix. We had one when I was a kid, but they look goofy. Like when you see them, you're
but
like,
they're-
you're a goofy looking dude, but hey, they're mean.
Yeah.
we always had Dobermans, so I feel.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dobermans are up
they're
there,
a good
too.
mix. You know,
Dobermans
they're-
look scary.
especially if they don't get their ears pointed, they look way friendlier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's-
I think the same with pit bulls. They look really aggressive when people get the ears.
Yeah.
100%.
Make
I feel like
look like they're-
Dobermans, they look the most evil out of any dog. Like a pit bull, some look evil, some look very nice. Like there's a wide range where even if a Doberman's the nicest dog, like when you see one, you're just like, that's a killer. They just
were-
look, I don't know, they just have that kind of like evil boss look to them.
They were
Right.
tax collector dogs, so it's kind of like the whole story.
Oh,
behind
really?
them. Yeah, so they were really loyal to. He didn't want to pay for guards, so
Was
he just had.
Doberman the guy? Was
Yeah,
he-
I think he also bred Rottweilers too.
Huh.
Like so, they're kind of they have the same colors, kind of like the.
Yeah.
Black
It's
and
like
the
a black
tan.
and brown.
But yeah, he was a very popular guy, so he just bring 2 Dobermans with him when they wanted, so they didn't try to jump him. So he bred them to be real loyal to him.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
be pretty cool to do that, I guess. I don't know.
Factoids.
So I got a couple
That's all I
other,
got.
just a couple
For
other
dogs.
I'm not
tidbits
very
we'll go through. This one was kind of weird. So virgins are super honored here. It's a big thing to get married intact. So this was weird. They take the stained cloth and bring it around the islands to be celebrated. So you've heard of like certain celebrations at weddings where they honor a virgin bride, but they go around the whole island with a cloth. It's like,
Everyone gets a smell.
No.
it's like I've
Wait,
never
the cloth. Wait, before or after?
After.
What?
they take the stained cloth and they
The
bring it around the
stained
island
cloth.
to be celebrated. And it's like a
That's-
big thing. Like everyone's like cheering and like, I don't know. I've never heard of that, but that's a thing.
How
And
sophi-
hey, maybe it's not. Maybe I just read it on some website, but
Well, it's just completely changed my ideal in
You're-
my head
you're
of the
going.
sophistication
You're going.
the sophisticated. What about this place?
of the peoples. Like what?
I don't know. I don't think there was anything really sophisticated about this place.
Whoa. We don't need any hate mail.
Hey, no,
No, Hayden.
I didn't say anything bad. I
No,
said
less
sophisticated.
modern.
Mm.
Less modern.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think this is a place where you're gonna go see the symphony and wear a zoot suit. This is
Maybe.
hanging out on the beach and
with some Bugumzalas.
with like
and-
your pack of dogs behind you.
Watch some cricket.
Food and drink. So they do have fish, of course.
Right.
A bunch of islands. Seafood, crayfish, giant clams. Just to name a few of the delicacies you can get there.
Sounds good.
But unlike Nauru, so when we talked about Nauru, they couldn't fish because there was that ring of
Yeah, the
jagged coral reef that would
reef,
sink
yeah.
a boat. Here, they don't have to deal with that. So,
Sounds like paradise.
well, other than the fact you're gonna have to evacuate in 10 years when the sea tides come in. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I finally become an expat, sounds like be the first stop. I go live there for like 10 years, and like, all right, peace out, island sunk.
You know, there's other islands in the Pacific too, where
Yeah, but why not?
I mean,
Go hang with the dogs and Jason. He'll be there.
Jason will be there.
I'm just gonna visit.
No, but there's like zero tourism to this place. It's super hard to get to. It's kind of the same thing with Nauru. Boats only come every so often.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't want to see nobody. When I become an expat, it's because I'm sick of people.
It's also it's very trashy because there's nowhere to put the trash. They don't have a
right.
Yeah, there you go. Switching it again.
The beaches are trashy, and this is I saw a couple of videos where really there's no place to store it. They don't have any space. You know, it's these tiny islands.
So you mean boats don't come and get it like they do ours and ship it off to some?
No, but we at least have landfills. There's
mountain.
nothing here. So the beaches have a ton of trash that basically everybody just kind of throws stuff everywhere because there's no infrastructure to have trash.
Awesome.
I feel like if
assholes
they had
polluting.
active volcanoes, they could just throw the trash,
Into the volcano,
yeah,
and
into
it
the
burns,
magma.
right?
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
not active anymore, so
when we write
That
that letter to
sucks.
those scientists, we'll make sure to include that in there.
maybe they could dive down to the bottom of the reef, for like where the opening of the volcano is, toss it in there, and then when the volcano eventually does erupt again, it's
Right.
just whatever. The world,
Yeah.
world's got to deal with it.
There's just some guys scuba diving with bags of trash just going up and down.
Constantly.
No, but it is a big issue there. I guess people just kind of piss and shit wherever.
You save these details for the last. I was
Hey.
convinced on this place.
Hey,
Put
it's not all it cracked out to be, and
a bunch of atolls.
it's not their fault. They just have nowhere to put it. Like
I'm
imagine
retiring that one.
you just don't have space or the resources.
I mean, that
to-
makes sense. Yeah, to
deal
get,
with it,
get it
so.
off the island. I mean, what kind of trash they got?
I mean, it's just anything that's getting imported. All these
Right.
bottles and wrappers and stuff. There's just not a proper way to dispose of them. Where it's
Yeah.
not.
Sucks every time you have a candy
Fucking
bar,
Coke, man.
Or yeah, every time you have something like that, it's like, well, it's gonna be on the island. Maybe they
Yeah.
should start burying it to build it up. No.
Maybe they just get
I think you need
organic and start
soil
making
to put
all.
over the burying
Why
Yeah.
haven't
Where
they
you're
gone
just
fully
cutting it up
organic?
Concrete.
on like a big trash island. All right.
Build
so,
the island up. See, they're wasting resources.
I
think you just solved it.
But other than that, if you go to some of the other islands that are more remote, like this one kept coming up, I think it was Christmas Island. It does look very nice, but a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is things that I saw that were in the main city, the main island, Tarawa. So that's kind of where a lot of these issues are because you have overpopulation, small area, not a lot of resources. But let's get down to the.
I'm sure you'll hear it on the tape.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the verdict here. And,
I'm
I'll go
out.
first. I'm out. It's not a place. It's hard to get to. There's only a couple flights a week, even if that. If you can get on those, kind of isolated. There's nothing really about this place that stood out. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some very beautiful areas and some great beaches.
Yeah,
Just
but hard to get to.
Hard to get to. Not on the
Worth
top
it.
of my list.
Not with these gas prices.
Yeah. Hey. Don't tell you what. But yeah, I'm out for this one.
No, I mean you had me going there. It was up and down there for a minute. I think I'm out. These trashy people. That's too much.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we already know you're going.
I'm
right?
going.
Pack of
Go.
wolves.
Yeah, we got to keep the streak going.
Jason's got, he's got to get his pack.
I feel like, yeah, I don't know if I'll have the money to get there before it's gone. So
Yeah,
kind of
that's
an
true,
issue,
too.
You know,
It does seem like, I guess, the one positive.
I'm
for
going to the
visiting-
Gambia before I go to this place. So
Yeah.
I think it's like, when am I like? How important is it that I travel here? You know.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, you only got so much time.
Yeah, so it's down the list. But if I'm doing like a big Fiji, Tonga, Bikini Island, like I'm stopping. You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting my passport stamped before you can't get it stamped.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that have been to all of them. So I mean, there are people that have visited this place to physically get it stamped on their passport.
Yeah.
A lot
No,
of fucking
I mean,
liars.
you can definitely go there. And the one I think redeeming,
Probably a
I should
scribble.
get a fake stamp.
the one redeeming thing about this place, I think too, like if you go to Fiji or some of these other islands, it's like
French Samoa.
super
or
touristy.
Samoa.
You're paying a
Yeah.
shitload of money. This, like, you really are off the beaten path. You're not gonna have any
Just paying
other
it.
travelers around. Like you'll be
Right.
your own. But
Still paying a shitload of money
yeah,
for.
if that's what you're doing, if you're going around the area, I could see it. But not going out of your way to go to this place. But all right, so the verdict's in. So that concludes our episode on old Kiribati. Where do y'all want to go next?
Well, we have a pick now.
Yeah, Pick
He's
the
never
place.
left it up to us. He's a
Yeah.
liar.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not gonna pick, I gave you the chance. You didn't say anything, so
Where are we going?
we're gonna go to Andorra.
Andorra.
Oh, okay.
Andorra, back to Europe, back to the one of the micro countries. So we'll keep that theme going.
Cool.
We'll see you in Andorra.
All right.
All right. Later.
Out.
Bye.